it's interesting. Like no one on the left that I've seen has really been connecting the dots that like there hasn't been mass shootings like happening during the pandemic. Like there's and like gun sales are like the highest they've been like in forever. And it's like maybe it's not a gun problem.
That's an interesting point, but I've seen people saying like, "Hey, I lived in Texas, and we'd have our guns with us at school because we'd go hunting all the time.
Mm.
Like, we'd have them in our truck, and nobody ever got shot in the '60s and '70s and all that. And everybody had a fucking gun.
I think
So it's
it's
like,
yeah, I think it's a mental health issue. Like Joe Rogan had a famous quote where he was like, "We have a mental health issue disguised as a gun control problem, disguised as something else. I forgot." But anyway,
100%, 100%.
yeah,
Well, yeah, so if somebody goes on a shooting spree, you arrest them and you execute them. Okay. Well, you're not dealing with the problem that actually caused them to behave that way. You're just punishing them for the crime. You're treating the whatever you're treating the symptoms, but you're not getting to the base of the infection. You're not preventing infection to other people.
what if the reason why these mass shootings aren't occurring near the rate as they were before like the pandemic and the riots and stuff is because a lot of these people who have these mental health problems and who would have gone out and like shot up an elementary school or something actually are getting out their frustrations in the streets.
It could be. I mean, I have a lot of theories about this stuff.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I think some of it is the emasculation of men,
Hmm.
where it's gotten to the point where there's like a lot of biology at work here, but basically, men don't feel like men anymore to a certain extent, and they don't feel useful. And we've seen it happening with all these jobs going overseas. Like, you can't work with your hands like you used to. You can't build things. There's some of that. You know, there's a lot of people that are atheist, and some of these people would get purpose from religion in the past. There, people are just losing purpose in life in general, and a lot of these things that would maybe give them some kind of purpose aren't there anymore.
I kind of see what you mean. I'm not. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
there's more things than that, of course, I'm sure,
Yeah,
but
because when it comes
anything that could give you some purpose if you don't have it.
yeah. Okay, I agree with that. Like when it comes to the religion aspect, part of me thinks that like if because I know a lot of people who are atheists, and the reason why they're good people is because it's not because they have like a faith to guide them. It's because they have three things: they have empathy, they have reason, and they have logic. And so
Mhm.
what they do is they follow those as like kind of their moral compass. And I think that's what keeps a lot of those people as like good people. And so part of me thinks like if they needed maybe the people who lack
I
logic
don't
and
know
reason
that it's
and
necessarily a
empathy.
good or bad thing though. Like, sometimes these people that have no purpose get depressed to the point where they want to end it all.
Yeah.
And depending on who or what they blame it on, they might want to go out in a blaze of glory.
So we were talking in regard. You were thinking that like a lot of the mass shootings and things like that were in the mental health issues. It all kind of derives from men not being able to be like typical men.
I think anything that can lead to depression, because what I've always thought and I've heard before is depression is anger turned inward onto yourself,
Mm,
basically. I mean, unless you're talking about like chemical depression, but that's a whole separate thing.
yeah.
But when you take those feelings of resentment and anger and sadness and you turn them outward because you blame whoever for things being this way, then yeah, that's when you get violence, in my opinion. I think especially if somebody's at the point where they're feeling like they're going to kill themselves
Yeah.
and they want to, get some kind of notoriety, or they want somebody to care that they were there, or they want to like you're going to kill yourself, but you want to leave your mark.
Yeah, yeah. And but can you imagine? Now, this is an interesting, I think, an interesting point of view when it comes to the riots. Can you imagine how insane mass shootings would be if we didn't have these riots?
Yeah,
Like,
I think they would. But
yeah,
well,
where
you notice like one of these shootings will happen and then another one will happen. There's that thing with people where it's like they want to copy people.
it's the yawn effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Hey, thank you for listening to Two Party Breakdown. If you liked what you saw, smash that like button. If you want to see more, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily political content. Thanks.